Rocks are on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear everything good? Got levels. All right, you guys ready to knock into this thing?
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, everybody, welcome to the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Today I have with me Mr. Jeffrey Vernon, Mr. Trevor Thrift from Convince the Kid. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, doing great.
I'm glad to see you guys here. I'm big fans, so I'm glad you guys can make it out. I'm glad we can make this happen. It's a miracle it hasn't already happened. It's overdue, so I'm glad we're getting it done right now.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So this is going to be an interesting one because you guys have been through a few iterations of this band, so it should be pretty interesting. Am I right?
Right.
Let's start at the beginning. How'd you get into this whole thing? I assume this starts with just you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeff is the newest member, I guess.
Word.
Started in high school.
Proby.
I still get bullied.
3 of the 4 main members we were all in drumline together in high school.
Okay.
And so we had played in jazz band together. One of the guys played keys and one of the guys played bass. And so there was like a talent show coming up at the high school, and we were like, we should put together a band for the talent show, like the typical high school talent show band, right?
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah, exactly. And so we did that, and originally it was a different name, a different singer. Mm-hmm. We decided we didn't really want to do that specific band, and so what remained was me on drums, buddy on mine on keys, and the same guy on bass, but no one could sing.
Interesting.
So I decided, I was like, you know what? I feel like if you guys will just trust me, I'll figure it out. And so I switched from drums to keys to then singing. And that was that. And we had a buddy of ours on guitar that wasn't in the drum line. But yeah, it was 3 drummers and a guitarist in a band, basically. So it was a lot of fun, and I learned to sing, learned to play keys, and we had a really good time. And that iteration of the band lasted for like maybe a year. Yeah. And then we were looking to add another guitarist, and I had been jamming a little bit with a different band called the Beach Whales. Mm-hmm.
That's a cool name.
It is a cool name. That's a cool name. And we had been playing together a little bit, and I was like, dude, you're really good at guitar. You should come just play like rhythm guitar with Convince the Kid. And he's like, I would love to. Loved your guys' show. I should have time to do both. Yeah. And when I mentioned it to the guitarist we had, he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good time for me to peace out. So it was like, all right, cool. So that was the second guitarist. And that was the iteration that we played for Jeff on the rooftop for his album release party.
So where in here do you guys meet? Have you guys always known each other, or is that the rooftop meeting?
No. Jeff, you want to take that over? Good old North Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to say, just hop in if I'm wrong, but I think you, me, and Sienna Chandler all had the same music appreciation class that, if I recall, none of us really appreciated too much.
Yeah, it was like Gregorian chant and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I should just speak for myself. I mean, it was just a crazy class. But yeah, so what was that, like 2015, 2014?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how me and Jeff met, and then that was, I mean, pretty much
just in classroom.
Yeah,
UGA, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But we didn't really like do a whole lot. Like that's where we met, and then we just kind of went separate ways, and then later ran into each other again. Yeah,
once I transferred back in UGA, we met through MBus, So, and we jammed a couple times. And after the rooftop show, the guitarist that was for Convince the Kid is now a drummer in this like hardcore metal band.
Sick.
So that's what he's doing, and they're a pretty great band. So he got really busy with that, and so I was like, we need this guy to do it.
But if I remember right, wasn't he like joining the military? Like
this is a guy who has planned. At one point, he was going to Germany to do engineering. He wanted to join the military, like anything under the sun. That he was like, so we knew in our hearts he wasn't going to be our guitarist for very long.
Yeah, well, it happens. It sounds like a cool guy. I never got to meet the guy, but if I remember right, because you came to 1093 with Convince the Kid, and then in a somewhat last minute, maybe it wasn't that last minute thing. It was like, oh yeah, our guitar player is just not going to be here.
Right?
Can you bring your guitar? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so like we're recording these songs to release, and I'm like mimicking the guitar parts to Jeffrey to make sure he's like changing at the right spot. And it worked out great. And Jeff's a great guitar player, and it's like, you should join the band.
Yeah, makes sense. That's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
You were just producing, I assume?
Yeah, well, we were both kind of working over there on different things, and Trevor brought in his band, and Yeah, literally, you were just humming it to me like the moment before we did the take, which is very sort of that became our workflow. Like we
to this day.
It's very spontaneous. Yeah.
yeah, we don't overthink stuff like
That's
at
great.
all.
That's a very rare, awesome trait to have.
It's
I
very
think.
fun.
Try not to. Usually when we're writing stuff, it's like we'll write 2 or 3 like different songs in like a session.
Wow.
Yeah, for better or for worse. Yeah, it's just
No,
like, all right,
for better.
those are the 3 songs. Let's do it.
A lot of great records made like that, man.
Right.
Something about that. Just get it done, you know?
But yeah, so Convince the Kid proper or V2 played the Georgia Theater rooftop in 2018.
You hit them up about opening for you, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, because I had seen them or had heard them and knew Trevor and was like, oh yeah,
Perfect.
let's do it. And then the rest followed from
It's
there.
history.
Right? And then so the end of Convince the Kid version 2 was we had we were supposed to be opening for Family Recipe, right?
Yeah, so we were one of the people that got a rug. I mean, everybody got a rug pulled from under them in March of 2020. But like the pandemic rug, like we were slotted to play opening for Family Recipe and Misnomer at Georgia Theater.
Oh, man. That's
And that-
tough.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we were so excited. It had like a whole like photo shoot thing.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
And then, I mean, don't have to go into, the COVID of it because that's, everyone knows that story.
Everybody's got
But
the
that was
details.
kind of like, we're like, well, I guess maybe this band wasn't meant to be or whatever. It's kind of the way it felt at the time.
Yeah.
And then after all that, Trevor and I were working on like a film production together, and then you just started coming over on the weekends.
Right.
And after production shoot days, we would just like record and jam and play Mario Kart
Very
all
natural.
weekend.
So it wasn't like, hey, let's start the band back. It was like just doing it, kind of.
Well, I would say that's when it kind of became a duo, but
Right, yeah. We just started making music. I bought a drum pad, and so it was just like this fun new thing, and we had bought some loop pedals and tried to go the looping route, and we were like, this is interesting. I don't know if we can make this happen as a duo, but it's fun to record. So we just like did that for, during the pandemic, because that's all you could do was record music.
Time.
And so that was, at the time, not planned to be Convince the Kid again. But when we when we recently restarted this duo, we needed songs. Honestly, was one of the big things. We wanted to play shows as fast as possible, kind of ride this new post-COVID wave of live music. It's like we need to be able to do stuff as quick as possible. So not having to rebrand and not having to,
You've got your street cred already, which is genius. Like, like you're not starting from scratch.
Right.
that was the thought. Was
Yeah.
like, okay, if we start from scratch, then we're starting from scratch. If we leverage what we already have, then like
And you guys were both in that band, so
Well, and the other guys are cool with it too. I made sure before we posted on Convince the Kid page again, I texted Matt and Jacob, the drummer and the bassist of Convince the Kid. I was like, this is what we're planning on doing. We have this cool opportunity to play at Smith's and at 40 Watt. Are you cool with us, keeping Convince the Kid as our name? And one of the guys is an engineer, super smart guy, so he's like too busy for a band.
Yeah.
The other guy's like becoming a teacher right now,
That's
so
awesome.
and they were like, yeah, go for it.
that's some nice
So
guys.
great
for
guys.
them. Good for them,
great
man.
guys.
yeah, a good example of something that came about naturally that everybody was like, yeah, that's fine.
Beautiful. Well, you love it. I mean, you got your whole EPK and show cred and everything, man. You don't have to play crappy venues again, like just to have something on there,
Right.
per se.
Well,
that's awesome.
I would love to play some crappy venues, man. I mean, I wish there were like plenty
More.
of crappy venues to play. I just
Some
feel
more
like,
crappy venues around.
they just get gobbled up, man. The entryway into town, you know what I mean? I feel like it's harder to get a gig now than
It was
ever
the
has
lounge. It was the lounge, and now it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Donia. I mean, I don't know. Well, unless you play bars, I guess. I don't know. So,
been. Yeah.
but venue-wise, I feel like that was the one.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you guys are doing great. We're playing some big places, so I'm liking it.
Yeah, looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah.
40 Watt, Smith's Old Bar. Come on.
Smith's Old Bar with you, man. September
go.
the 9th.
Next Thursday, right? 8 days away.
Yeah.
Correct.
That guy snuck up on me, man. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to print out posters. I'm going to have shit ready. Do a 2-week promo thing on it. Haven't done shit.
Well, that's because you've been so busy fucking crushing it out there,
man.
dude.
Thank you, man. That's a good problem to have, I guess,
Of
But
course.
I'm excited about this one. I'm excited to see you guys set because I haven't seen any of it. Not a bit of it.
We gave a sneak peek the other day. It went really well.
That's what he said. You guys showed it to a few sample candidates.
Yeah, because I mean
test subjects.
That's been the weird thing about this duo is it's different.
A duo.
Yeah, it's a duo, but it's not like we're trying our best to capture the full band sound in a way that's interesting as a duo. So yeah, we've got a drum machine we call Baby.
That's awesome.
He's our drummer, just a robot drummer. And just doing stuff to try and achieve that full band sound, and this mix between like a DJ set and like EDM and rock music. So it was nice to finally get some ears on it to give us like,
awesome,
how is this coming across to you? Does it feel like a full band? And they're like, yeah, and it was like, all right, well, let's do it.
Sweet, man. So are you playing bass or guitar or switching?
So
or is the synth hold the bass down?
Yeah, these are the right questions.
Yeah.
These are the questions we had to ask to start as well.
Yeah, because I mean, again, we've been working on this idea of playing together, just the two of us, since like last summer. Mm-hmm. So with the equipment, the way it ended up working out was in a way that feels really live because it is all live.
Right.
So like, to answer your first question, I switch between bass and guitar. Usually not during the same song.
Yeah.
Sometimes during the same song. But the Trevor side of things is what's I think is very different, because we don't have any computers or like nothing programmed, nothing like that. Well,
the only thing programmed is the drum machine loops.
The samples that are already in there. Is that right?
Well, yeah. I use the samples that are in there, but like the actual beats, then the variations of the beat are programmed into the drum machine. But I'm still switching them live, and everything else is live. We wanted to go DAWless. We wanted no computers. We wanted to achieve as much live sound as possible, like for the audience, but also for us, just so we could feel like, not like we're tied down to a computer, or not feel like, we're not really doing this thing. We're just pressing a button and it's going. It was really important for us to be like, this is live.
I'm not recording and looping anything.
That's awesome.
He's not recording and looping anything. There's no like song structure that's being played back that we're hearing. So it's all like beats that Trevor made because of your history as a drummer, and programming all of it live. Yeah. And so, it took a lot of work to like make it sound full. And it's like, okay, well, if you take the bass here, then I can take it here. And it's like, it's the only way I would find myself, or it's like, it was an easy transition for me to get into electronic music, because like I'm all about just like, drums, bass, guitar, and just like the human thing. And so like this
as human as it gets for it, right?
Yeah, right. It keeps that.
That's sick, man. It's crazy that you're like, so none of your loops are like preloaded per se. Like you're gonna snare them in, kind of.
Well,
right?
it's more. I mean, they're pre-programmed by measure. There's only like one measure, and then I'm having to switch between the different beats live. And then there's fills I can play live on the drum machine. It's really just like it's just a drum machine. It's our beat maker. It keeps the tempo, but it gives the vibe. And the thing that's lucky about this sound and the synths and the drum machine is we also get to do some cool like dance oriented stuff.
Let's go.
So it's like this. It's a really fun mix for us, and I think it'd be fun for people.
And
to
it
see.
Sounds like you guys. I don't know how to describe it, but like you guys both singing. Right? Somewhere in these places, I imagine you would, right? I mean, why wouldn't you?
Almost every song
together
we sing.
That's sick.
Try to get those harmonies down.
Let's go. I mean, you're programming, you're doing all kind of shit.
I would say, Trevor, you're still probably taking point on that for the most part, but it's pretty well split up.
Yeah.
You got them using.
But yeah, it's cool to see our relationship come to this level, because like there was a while like there was a trio between me and Trevor and Kelly Bouchelon playing bass. And
what's the name of that band? Didn't have one?
I think it was just Jeff's solo stuff. Yeah.
Jeffrey Vernon.
Sick. We recorded how many songs in a day in Atlanta one time. Jeff was just like, hey, we're going to go do this. And he was like, here's the songs I want to record. I think it was like 5 songs in a day. Mm-hmm. That was quite a fun time.
I think we did like 10 or 11 that day.
Damn.
It was insane. There's one song from that session I'm going to use, but it was more just like, that was crazy. That was
interesting.
Like,
but yeah, that was a fun time.
Maze Studios in Atlanta with the wonderful Annie Leith.
But that was cool.
Yes.
Was it?
Oh,
and
always.
then you guys played a lot together. The Breaker 19.
Right. Short-lived breaker
It had a
19.
glorious
It was a fun,
run.
yeah, it was
It had a
short
glorious
and
run.
fun. Yeah.
Bring Josh back. Where's Josh? Is Josh going to be back in time for the show? Do you know?
I have to ask Josh, man.
Josh, if you hear this,
Please,
Josh, we're watching you watch us right now.
Please come, Josh.
I feel like Josh will see this.
Yeah, I hope to see Josh.
Yeah, I hope so too. But anyways, moving along. Sorry, I got distracted.
No, you're good.
Back to where we were at. Excuse me. Building everything live. Is there going to be visuals? I know you talked about visuals at one point. Is that out of the picture?
Not out of the picture.
Working on it.
Hopeful.
Yeah, I would say be excited.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, visually, I'll be there.
I was gonna say Jeff's a visual. I mean, in and of
major
itself.
visual.
So,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I'd love to look at Jeff if I was
me
in
too.
the audience.
All the
so.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be interesting to see a duo. You don't see many duos.
That's
ever.
That's kind of what I was thinking about. Was like that was again part of this project that is so different and well, it's appealing because it's different. It's like, you know, I had to be convinced at first that we could do it without a drummer.
Convinced.
Right. Yeah. Yep. You know how many people have come up to us after shows and like, I'm convinced, man. I'm convinced. Yeah, it's pretty great.
So ready for that.
I love that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It might get old, but that's funny.
It's
The synth drum machine landscape like just allows my guitar and bass playing to be so much more just like rudimentary and just like nasty.
Let's go.
Because of the dichotomy between the two.
Yeah.
So like when we do rock, it's super rocky.
That's sick.
And it's also super dancey.
I feel like you guys are pretty versatile, dude. Like you could play anything that you wanted to, right? Kind of.
It's well,
or does it feel
you would
not
think
that
so?
way?
Well, it's interesting. It just has to fit the instrumentation because like the drum machine can only do so many different things at one time while I'm playing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, but the covers that we have found have been great, and we've been going more towards 80s like Flock of Seagulls, Tears for Fears, that kind of stuff, which Convince a Kid has never done before, but I love.
Yeah, big fan of that whole sound. Really great sounding songs back then, man. Just masterpieces on the synthesizer, I think.
Yeah.
So cool. And it's got the whole. It sounds pretty modern too, like dance clubby kind of stuff. Oh, I've always been into dance music, like how they use energy. You know, I think that's fascinating.
And we're trying to lean into that too. So yeah,
I'm excited to see faces. Happy
people.
Happy smiling faces.
Me too.
Smiling eyeballs at least. And see who reacts to what and why and who it connects with.
I obviously can't speak towards the whole lineup, but I think you guys have a pretty open, like, accepting. Like, if they're coming out to see you guys line up, you know, it's like, all right, these people want to hear some tunes. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I'm going to hear rock bands, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
well, that's the beauty of Athens, right?
Yeah, that is and the 40 watt.
And
not,
the 40
not
watt.
many venues that are like that, you know.
Right.
40 watts, you play whatever, and they love it, man. I love that. Love
yeah,
that about it.
I think our number one goal is to get people to dance. If we had a number one goal for the live show,
That should be accomplished.
We want people to dance.
I think that'll be very easily accomplished.
Yeah.
Tell me about the single. What did you guys do to work on that? I was there for a little bit of it, thankfully. I'm not even kidding. I don't know. Did you guys see the thing I posted on Jameson on the Rocks today?
Yes, I did. I saw
That's
it right before I
literally-
got here.
I'm not even kidding. That's one of my favorite songs come out of Athens in a while.
Wow, I
It's
appreciate it.
Like when I was listening to you guys mix it, I was like, fuck, like there is not much going on, but it's so good. You know what I'm saying? That's why the song me and you are working on now, not much going on. You know what I'm saying? That was like a stem from watching you guys do that, going, wow, there's really only 3 things going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Drum machine, bass guitar, I guess guitar, or synthesizer, excuse me.
Synth.
So,
Yeah, that was it.
That's
yeah.
it.
So, yeah, I love
Some
that.
vocals.
I'm a big fan of the bass fill towards the end. The plump, plump, plump. Like it's like a real fat, like chunky kind of thing. Big fan of the synth. And all the hooks are clean.
Well, that's the thing is I mean, that song was born of fun new equipment, right? So I'd gotten the drum machine like to come to Jeff's that weekend and just figure some stuff out. And then how did you get that synth? The Casio?
It was donated to the Jeffrey Vernon Survival Fund.
Is it the baby one? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
No, the 2 cents I have are a micro Korg and then this really
Okay, that's what
old
I'm thinking of.
Casio. It's like heavy as a brick, you know, but
Yeah.
it sounds incredible.
Little 90s mono bad boy.
Love it.
Yes.
And that's playing the main hooks on that?
Right. So it was
Okay.
just like this new synth is fun, this drum machine is fun, let's go jam.
Yeah.
And then
We just cranked out 2 or 3 songs and we were like, well, we should record this one. And then we figured, well, I just insisted kind of that I was like, if we're going to make a drum beat machine song, I want to at least slam it through some compressors and slam it into my tape machine and make it sound just as bad as it can possibly sound.
Right. It's this fun, like, digital into analog thing that Jeff
crossover.
loves. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you just put it through this process where it's like kind of mangled.
I won't say it doesn't really sound super tapey though. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like it's not like or anything.
If you listen close to the very beginning and very end of that track and another track we're gonna release, you'll hear the tape hiss. You can't miss it because
now that I know, it'll be there.
Yeah, but the bass fill and all the synth, I mean, all of it was live. Like because that was the flow I was used to and that I wanted to do for that.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of the same thing as the live shows. It's like, because we are going into this digital territory, we want to keep even the recordings as much live as possible. Just like keep that same full band feel.
It'd be twice as hard for you guys to replicate something that wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like even with a 4-piece band, sometimes it's like tough to replicate, I guess. But 2 guys, it's like, wow, we only can go so far with what we've done here.
Right.
So it's great that you guys are live. What else do I love about it? I feel like to Let Me Down Slowly, like you guys keep going on it longer than I would have, which I like. Like you say it more like 5 or 6 times. I don't know how many times you say it, but every time I hear it, that sticks out to me. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think we know how many times you say it either.
It probably wasn't purposeful, but just to me, I've always thought that was cool. I don't know why.
Well, that's, perfect example of doing it live. It's like we weren't looking at each other, and then we finally did. It's like we probably should move on to the next part now. But it's like you don't get that when you're like, let's, plan this out.
Do it,
Exactly. That's the beauty of the moment.
That's great, man. It's pretty ballsy, honestly. Kind of risque in the studio.
Well, I don't know that it ended up. I think is another example of just Trevor and I not overthinking stuff.
That's great.
You just you figure, you get a spark, you ride it, and you get out of the way
before it catches on fire or something.
Yeah.
So easy to overthink things, so that's great. Yeah. I feel like that's a big thing for me. Too calculated sometimes.
I'm excited. to finally get these songs out because we've been writing together and collaborating for a long time.
How many do we have total? What are we looking at? 5, 6?
Enough where I think we're hoping to get an EP out there in the near future.
Awesome.
5 or 6 song EP.
Let's go. Any more singles? I think I've heard an instrumental.
Yes, that is the next single.
Is that a single? Awesome.
Yes, it is.
Sweet.
And it should be coming out probably a couple of weeks before the 40 Watt.
That's right now.
I don't remember what Friday that actually is, but it's like mid-September.
Word.
Yeah.
18th probably.
Give people a taste of the dance vibe. So okay, I'll go check this out.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Should be fun. I'm excited to see how it does too, man. I'm glad you guys are playing on Tuesday because I'll be there. What's the date on that? Just so everybody listening knows.
It's the 28th.
September 28th.
Yeah, it's the Tuesday after Athfest. So we're thinking Athfest will get all this hype and people will be like, I haven't seen a show in forever.
Yeah.
And then I'll just mosey on
There will be. Yeah.
And there we are. Wherever you go, there you are.
But yeah, again, just hopeful to see lots of happy faces dancing.
I think you will. What are the other singles? Are they anything sticking out different or pretty similar or all done in that same time period? So there's barely the same or
so
a moment in time?
We've written a couple of songs with a real drum set, and where Jeff takes time to do a bass line and a guitar, riff and all of the different parts. And that, again, we'll do at least part of it live. Like I'll do the drums and he'll do the guitar and keep that live and then build everything off of there. So there will be at least one song that I'm thinking of that will have a real drum set.
Like just on recording or?
Yeah, just on the recording. Okay. And then that's the really interesting part about the duo live is trying to figure out, okay, this is what it's going to sound like on the recording.
Yeah.
How different are we comfortable with it being live? Like just a totally different vibe, totally different song. Like how much are we willing to put on a recording that we can't do live? And if we can't do it live, I think the motto is we'll just do it different, not do it like less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like purposefully, it's like, okay, this is not trying to replicate the thing-majig.
So yeah, I think we're just kind of like open to recording whatever is right for the song, not necessarily right for the duo live.
I think that's fair. They're kind of separate entities in a way, but similar. Yeah. Some people like keeping the same. I feel like you might like keeping the same.
I'm interested in creative confinement. So I think with recording especially though, drums are really important and getting the sound of the drums is really important. And so whatever I also just want to build great records. And so I think the idea of having to be able to perform all of it live as a 2-piece duo creatively can, if you use it the right way, could be helpful, but like in the studio may not be.
Probably not. Yeah.
Right.
I feel that. It's a good way to put it. Very good way. Have you guys, is the record ready? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or is it like you guys got songs to do?
I mean, the songs are there.
You did them all at your house?
Well, we have demos, right?
Okay.
So we haven't really figured out like what the recording process will be, but you know, we have the songs. We just have not, you know, gotten to the final recording process of it.
You don't know any good like studio guys, do you?
I don't think so. Everybody I know is garbage. No,
especially in Athens. No studios, no engineers.
go do them at 1093. That'd be sick.
Never heard of it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
1092.
Well, that's where we've done the vocals, and most everything I work on gets filtered.
I think so. It's too nice not to.
It's amazing.
You got the keys to a beautiful studio, so you might as well.
Yeah, Jim and I do some cool stuff, and
yeah, I'm glad it's still there. I'm glad it hasn't sold. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
personally, yeah.
Of course, man.
It's still for sale, right?
Yeah.
No, we should promote this. It's not for sale anymore, people.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to see if the sign's out. See if I'm out.
Like anybody that listens to my show could afford it.
Well, they could probably afford a session.
Yeah, they should. Nice.
If they need one.
Anybody trying to get into 1093, hit my man Jeff Vernon up.
I'm excited for putting strings on.
I'm excited too. Yeah, you haven't heard this track, have you?
I
need to get you. It's very, very kind of influenced by you guys a little bit. I feel though when I was listening to you guys when it was just like synth, drums, guitar or bass, whichever it was. I was like, wow, that sounds great. You know what I'm saying? This sounds like 80s records. Like, you know, like they just did 4 things. Like too many things going on. It's too much, you know. You can only process so much. Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, that's what I want to do. It's pretty much what we're doing. I mean, we're doing guitar leads, drums, bass. We did all that live together. Probably going to overdub some guitar. And strings at the end, like real strings is what we're going to do. And that's pretty much it.
It's going to be cool, too, because I think we'll use different voices, different spots. Like, get that grand going.
Yeah.
Get the strings going.
Yeah, it's very cool.
He's got 3 new songs, at least. Well, you got
3.
You got all kinds of new stuff, but the batch we're working on now.
The batch we're currently sifting through, yeah.
Your viewers should probably know is we are secretly like your production team.
Pretty much, yeah. Trevor, you need to come sit in when we're working on this stuff.
Time. Maybe film some.
Enjoy it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
And wasn't that like your main major in college was like film?
Yeah, entertainment and media. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So whatever that entails.
I've been asking Trevor all kind of film questions. Anybody needs a film, what would it be? Videographer? Is that right? Yeah,
concert videographer.
If anybody needs a legit concert videographer, we've honestly got 2 of them here, but this is more kind of your task right now.
I am his protege in this field. Absolutely talk to Trevor. I bought a camera from Zanny P. Love that man. And
the rapper, correct?
Yeah.
Doesn't he rap?
Yeah, well, Cole. But anyways, so I got like the homie hook up on like this great Canon camera, and I just immediately called Trevor. I was like, how do I use this? Right. And I've just been using it since, and I love it. Like, I'm getting better at it. But
you're very talented at it, I think you're like shots and like, I don't know how to describe that kind of stuff, but like the way you pan in and out with the knob twisty thing is cool.
Yeah, that's all it is, man.
Yeah, and you do that too, though.
Thing. Yeah, for sure.
So if anybody needs any concerts film, my dude right here, and/or right here, if this guy's busy. Great rates, great film.
If I'm busy.
Yeah,
then
only if
Jeff.
Trevor's
only
busy.
If I'm busy, right.
But if you need a studio guy, call Jeff and then Trev.
Don't call me.
Wow, this is just an infomercial.
Right, yeah. Sponsored by.
You got a plug. Brought to you by. Hey, what's the hummus girl's name?
Abby.
I'm so bad with names. I'm sorry, Abby. What's her?
At your bean babe.
Yes. Delicious, right?
Yeah.
I need to hit her up this week.
What?
I need to hit her up about getting some, man.
You do, man.
Is it really that good?
It's really that good. It is the only thing keeping me going right now, honestly.
No, really, like, he let me try some when we went and drove and got it. I think it was the first batch you got. And I was like, I'm, hummus, take it or leave it for me. Stuff was good.
Oh, really?
Again, sponsored by.
Brought to you by.
At your bean babe, Abby. She's amazing. It changes your mind on like what you thought hummus could be.
I don't understand. What is hummus?
Hummus is like this like
is it a plant?
Well, it's a kind of bean. It's like I think it's like pine nuts as well.
No idea.
Okay.
Like pine tree nuts? No.
I believe it's like this like ground thing. Well, you'll please have her on your podcast.
I should. That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I've wanted to bust into like the entrepreneur, like not musician field too for this too. I think that'd be cool. You know.
Do it, man. She's such a cool, interesting.
Maybe she'll hear
person.
this and she'll holler at me. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. But good stuff. It's uplifting. It's made with love. You know. After Bonnaroo was canceled yesterday.
You needed some.
The only thing that got me out of bed today was her hummus. I was like...
I liked your story.
And the podcast.
Of course, yeah. Kind of. A little bit. I liked your story of just you like dropping your wristbands. That's tragic, man. Well, at least it could have been worse, you know? Maybe you could have got out there and been like that and they'd be like, hey, canceled, come home, you know what I mean?
Dude, it could always be worse, JMO. This is why I appreciate you as a person, is you're like a very tenaciously optimistic. You're like, it's good.
Yeah.
It has to be.
And if not, it will be. Yeah.
It's a mindset, baby. Wherever you go, there you are.
That's very true,
my friend. Man. So yeah, what else should we talk about the band? I got sidetracked there again. Sorry. What else you guys have anything in particular you want to talk about? I feel like we've done a pretty good cover of the iterations, where you're at now. Pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
How much we love hummus.
Hummus is great. Who films, who records.
Yeah.
So Smith's Old Bar on September 9th, 40 Watt Club on September 3rd. What's in the game plan for the rest of this year? Take it easy, get busy,
hopefully
slow down.
Not take it easy. That would not be the choice.
Yeah.
But we'd love to do a rooftop show.
Yeah.
You know, obviously rooftop's a great place to play.
Yeah.
Like I said, release EP would be great. Hopefully do those at the same time, rooftop show, EP show.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That'd be very wise.
That's the plan, is to finish some songs, package them, have a release show.
Yeah.
Get our name out in town a little bit.
More videos. The name's already out. I mean, I'd heard of you guys. I saw you guys before. Like, I knew who you went. I saw you with the full lineup, I think. It was like 5 of you guys maybe, right?
Yeah, we played at
Nussy Space.
Yeah,
Nussy
the
Space Jam.
yeah.
I remember we were gassed because like it was our night, you know. I don't know if you guys did Space Jam, right?
It was your night at the Nussy Space Jam.
And like when we did it, like it went great. Like we did like, I don't know, you guys did 90 tickets, I think. And everybody was like, yeah, our night kicked ass. Nobody's going to be able to compete with that. And even David was like, yeah, that was the best night yet. I was like, let's go lose.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that those folks were brought up by Common Currents too.
They were great that night, bro. They were fantastic.
It's a good night.
Yeah, they were great. Who's the first band? I remember the first band being really good. They were like a 3-piece. They were super tight. You might remember?
It
was probably Green Day, I think.
It was a pretty wild day for
Green
me.
Day or Weezer. Oh,
yeah,
no.
right. Exactly. Yeah, at that Nussy Space Jam, yeah.
But yeah, I remember Common Currents being really great that night, thinking, wow, these girls are great too, excuse me.
Yes.
And you're wearing like a full like aviation suit or a painter suit.
Yeah, he's like comes up to me after the show and he shows me it's like wool on the inside and he's like, I'm gonna die. Like I don't know how he made it through the show wearing that thing.
And you had long hair back then.
I did have long hair.
I would say I remember you just like synthing it.
Yeah, like 2 years worth of uncut long hair. Yeah.
And then, were you hitting drum pads or were you hitting a snare?
I had a floor tom with me on stage.
Okay, it was something. That's cool.
Yeah, I kind of bummed that off of. I was telling you about earlier this band called Mute Mass, like one of my favorite bands. Loved their live shows. I kind of like treat our shows the way I imagine they treated theirs. So yeah, I had a
what would you do with it? I don't remember really. I just remember
there was just a couple of times where I would just join the drummer for a drum break.
Sick.
Everyone loves a drum break, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, and we ended the show with it, just really high energy. And that was the thing, was like with the original version of Convince the Kid, with us being 3 drummers, we were a very percussive band, just like, you know, syncopated rhythms and just these driving beats. And I joked with Jeff the other day that we never had any, you know, high end covered at all. It was like, I'll take like on like the you know, the frequency spectrum is like, we got the low end, the mids, and then the low mid. So it's like, and that was it. Like no high stuff. It was just like synth bass and rhythm guitar. Yeah. So
I remember you. I've told you this a few times. He never seems very impressed, but I was impressed. I remember you were doing the dive bomb things with your E string, but like extremely accurate. Like you would like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. Like, I'd never seen anybody do it before.
Lonely Boy?
Yeah. Not everybody would go for that.
Right.
Why?
It's just bad. Well, it could be bad for your guitar. It's hard to get it right. And if you don't get it right, like, especially when you're trying to get into this, it could go really badly.
Yeah. But you did it well. It looked good.
Yeah, that's an instance of Jeffrey getting away with it.
And then you remember your string. I remember like incredible detail in the show for some reason.
Yeah, it's really funny. I think you remember it much better than I do.
Probably so, man. Like your string. You said you zoned out though. We should talk about that.
Yes, we should.
Your string hung up on the bottom of your fret. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because Daniel Harden had just fixed the guitar I was playing that night for me. I bought it. It was like $100. It was in basically pieces, and he totally redid the electrical system in it. Before I knew how any of that worked. And then I was like, where's Dan? My guitar, like I broke a string and had another guitar there. And then he was like, dude, it was just like stuck under it got like jammed in a pickup.
It's Epiphone, right?
Yeah.
Those Epiphones, like the frets kind of hang over a little bit sometimes, right? Is that how it was? Or
it was underneath one of like the P90s.
Oh, okay.
It was
way
like
down there.
jammed in there because it just looked like it was gone. It was weird. Or maybe it was in like another.
Could have been.
Moral to the story, people, is that I beat the heck out of my guitars. Like I abused them, sadly.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I just love playing. Like that's another thing too. I think people think about like stage presence and stuff like that, and you're very much a showman.
Yeah.
The best showman.
Literally.
Are you kidding me?
Are
you kidding me,
stop.
Jameson?
All of the articles that are like Tank takes over.
Yeah, I mean it's true. He takes over.
It's the perfect way. You're just like, come on.
Give it here.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the world needs more of it, man. I'm excited to see where you go.
I'll tell you, the only time I don't like it is when I should know a song.
Yeah.
You come up to me, you look me in the eyes, you got the microphone, and you're like, all right, sing this with me. And I'm like, I have no idea what the words are.
Yeah.
It's Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that happens from time to time.
But still love it,
I
though.
love it, man. That's awesome.
Well, you bring the vibe, and all I was trying to say, the thought I was trying to finish was just like I'm again not overthinking stuff. Like I just
did it.
I just am who I am when I play.
I like that. He said that he zones out. I think
Yeah,
this is
I
kinda
don't
weird,
remember
like,
shows.
We both do.
You guys both do that?
That's
Yeah.
why, because we've been thinking about like, okay, well, what's our message? Like, what do we want to give to the world? And we are thinking about that sort of thing, but like. The same time, like just like you just live it. It just takes over, you know.
That's great. There's very few things that do that to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
You guys ever cut grass?
I love cutting grass.
Cut grass
There's
will
a
do that to
lot
you.
of things that you can do it with. I think music's like my favorite.
Yeah, one of the easiest to me at least. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll like come out of the days and be like, wow, we have one song left.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's crazy though.
Yeah.
You don't remember anything?
I mean, like bits and pieces, but it's just
Yeah.
this like weird zone that you get into. It's fun. I wish I could remember some of the shows we played a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's always a good time.
Feels like nothing can touch you.
Right.
Feels very, very nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I still remember like incredible detail about a lot of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird.
Well, I do too.
Yeah.
And
over time, I guess.
yeah, and also too being like, living in the era we're living in, like if you have like any neurotic tendencies, then you can give yourself a hard time afterward. Be like, oh, that one moment and that thing.
Right.
I'll never forget. I've ruined the whole show.
Definitely happens.
If you let it spiral, but like that's the thing is,
It's like
that's always in your head. Like some people see it and it happened, but like
most people don't know or care. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like a battle with yourself up there, kind of sometimes, especially long sets. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, okay, that could really piss me off right there and ruin the show, or I could bounce back and put myself back in the zone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean too. Like there was one time I was at one of Daniel Harden's shows and he broke a string, and that's when I decided to just get out my phone and start filming him because he was like shredding a solo, and I was like, Dan's amazing, and however he decides to play this, I just want to see it.
Yeah.
So like when stuff does go wrong, that's what's more exciting. That's why like again, not being on a grid, not being tied to a MacBook is like. There's a lot of room to have things go very wrong, which is great.
like it.
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes.
I
think people know. Like, oh, they're having to do all this stuff. I think it's important to the people watching, just as important to them as it is to us. At least I like to think that anyways,
If you think it, it's real, man.
Right.
I love it. Interesting. I broke 3 strings this weekend in one show because my bridge is set up wrong, which is what I found out afterwards.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, this is really pissing me off because like, I don't want to play guitar that much these days anyways.
Right.
I was like, I'm restringing between every damn song, I was like, I could let this ruin the show, or I could just continue to have a good time and restring my damn guitar. Like first world problems, you know what I'm saying? Like me being angry on stage at breaking strings. Like, wow, I've got it made, you know what I mean? So things are good. Things are good.
Yeah, man. You got that perspective locked.
Try to.
You got that
important.
mindset.
I'm trying to get more people on it. Trying to get everybody on it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, man.
Love it.
I love it. I think you guys are. You guys are always good vibes. I appreciate that. I don't think I've ever seen you guys in a bad mood, so that's good.
Well,
I'm sure it happens, but you know,
nothing wrong with being in a bad mood.
No.
I think you have to be real with yourself as well. And then, when you stray too far from the temple, you have to sometimes find your way back to the forest.
Clear heart, clear mind, baby.
Exactly. And it takes time. So, like, just, being good on yourself and forgiving yourself. And
Where's some other places you guys are wanting to play? Kind of off topic, I guess, but like Georgia Theater Rooftop. I mean, if you guys were chalked in for the downstairs, I feel like it wouldn't be out of the picture to like be like, yo, we were booked.
Right.
Like let's make this happen.
I mean, do you remember? Sorry, this is a little off topic.
Go ahead.
When COVID started and they started canceling shows, it was like, all right, well, we'll get rebuilt in like 3 months.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal. Like
they owe us one now.
Right, and it's like,
I didn't.
wow.
I didn't play that.
He knew, but
I didn't play that
no need to
shit.
get into that. But
Like fucking early February, I was like, we shouldn't even practice, bro. It's done.
yeah, I remember, and that was the last practice we had. And it was like he told us that before, and it was a pretty bad practice because I couldn't get out of my head. It's like there's no way this show's happening.
Yeah,
and I was like, what? You're crazy, dude. And that was the last practice of Convince the Kid V2, I guess.
Yeah, or V3. Wouldn't that be-
V3, yeah, right.
This is V4.
this is V4.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would like to play really anywhere. I think what our vibe is like, I want people to be pretty sloshed and just like ready to dance, low lighting, like inside, outside, whatever.
I feel like you guys could do Boar's Head. If you had 3 hours worth, that would people love dancing there.
That's the big one right now is getting 3 hours worth.
Yeah.
So,
that's quite a task.
Right. In terms of like building the songs, we did start from scratch. It's like we have stuff to pull from, but in terms of just like reimagining everything, it's like definitely coming from scratch.
Interesting.
Yeah, and having some like just production stuff. Yeah, I mean, being a duo is a little different from just like setting amps and setting up a drum kit and
very much so
hollering out some Skinner songs.
Yeah, definitely.
Which
right.
I love to do, man. Definitely love to do it. But
Give me 3.
Yeah, but this is a bit of a departure from that, and so
interesting.
Right.
I feel like you guys could do well at the Warehouse. Wish we could make that happen. That's a tough book, but that'd be cool. People go there to dance, I think. Yeah, pretty much any dance club. I mean,
right.
Once we see it, I guess. I mean, obviously, probably need to break it in a little bit, After these two, you guys should be hitting stride. I
think we're trying to jump in with a good showcase, and then do a few things around town, and then see how it evolves. See if it's something where it's like, all right, we need to push, our lighting or our like visuals, or we need to push our rig, or we need to just keep doing what we're doing. I think we'll see.
There are old Convince the Kid songs in the catalog, or you guys aren't playing any? Or?
We're playing one right now that translated super well because it was already like based on this like arpeggiator part on the synth and works perfect with a drum machine.
Sweet.
Those are fun to kind of go back to and be like, all right, well, how do we do these now?
Yeah.
And some of them are released, some of them aren't released.
I think it's good to keep them alive. I mean, you have something for people to go be a fan of,
Right.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Keep people in the story, I was there at V1.
I was there V2.
I love how you guys have them like cataloged already. Right. Like you knew what V1 through 4 was. I guess it's not that hard to know, but
When did you? Well, I'm gonna just take over JMO's job.
Take
here.
it. Go.
How did you get into playing drums and synth? Was
That's
it
a good
like
question.
the drum line or?
Well, yeah, drums was way earlier than synth. It's actually really hilarious. When I was younger, I was kind of pretentious and was like, man, fake drums, fake keyboards. Are you kidding me? I want the real stuff. Now
So
we're
like
literally
me
in a duo with a drum machine and synths. It's pretty hilarious. But yeah, I started playing drums in church band. So yeah, doing like
a lot of people
music,
start in church, man.
Right. It was really, really cool. I really appreciate the pastor at the time just came up to me on a Sunday. I was like, hey, you're gonna play drums on Wednesday night. I'd never played drums before, but he knew I was in band.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're just gonna do it. And I was like,
damn.
Okay. And so I came early Wednesday night. I was like, okay. And I just, played the simplest beat ever for the songs, but it worked and, no one cared.
That's awesome.
So that's where it started. I'm super thankful that happened to
that's
this day.
That's the best way to start anything, right?
Right. It's just like, you're going to do it. Cool. Yeah. Try to keep that mindset with anything with music now.
Because you're a gnarly drummer. Like, you could be drumming in any band in Athens, so.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Y'all need to listen to The Adventures of Baby Weehaw. the
I
song
forgot.
that you played lead guitar
Yes.
on and you played drums on.
Yeah,
But Josh does some drums on that record too, right? I was about to say, is that
on the record, yeah, but on that song, it's
That's
me
all
and
you.
you, man.
Let's
I didn't even
go,
think about
baby.
that. Yeah.
Let's go.
Josh is playing the nasty bass line
Yeah,
though. That
yeah.
bass line is so
That groove is wicked, bro.
off the chain.
I remember sitting right here when you sent me the MP3 and like listening to it and be like, yes, this is good. You know what I'm saying? This is nice.
Yeah, people don't know, man. You're a madman on the kit.
I have fun. I love playing drums. And
You look like you're having fun on them.
yeah,
You look like
yeah.
you're kind of thinking, but like in a good way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you know what you're doing, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's always been the interesting part about Convince a Kid is I never would have thought I would have gone the lead singer, route, but it was born out of necessity. So it was like, I want to play music. These are the people I know. None of us sing, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
Interesting. That was my next question. I was about to say, were you like, as a kid, like, oh man, I want to sing one day? Or it was
Definitely
like,
not.
It was like,
No.
okay, I have
Yeah,
to
no
if I
way.
want to be in a band.
And I was like, I would sing to stuff in the car. And I was like, that doesn't sound too bad. I think those are the right notes. And then, when I first started singing for the Convince the Kid, like the V1, it was, not great. And it took us a long time because I remember it was the funniest thing, and I'll never forget it. We practiced at our bassist house, and this is our first practice, and his parents got home, and we were still practicing, and I was singing. This is the first time singing with a band. And he told me this, not like the next practice, but like once I had kind of figured out how to sing and got, those muscles worked up, because those were not worked up at all. Uh-huh. He's like, yeah, when my parents got home for that first practice, they were like, Matthew, like, Trevor can't sing very well.
Haters.
Mom and dad calling him out.
Yeah,
You just started, Mom.
So no, definitely didn't think I was going to be singing. But
There you are, man. I think you're a great singer too.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
He's a great singer. Everybody's like, whenever I say that we both sing on the tracks, they're like, "Is that you?" And I'm like, "No, it's Trevor." I'm like in the corner, small somewhere.
Yeah, and when they're like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "No, that's Jeff."
Does it sound cool? Not me.
But I would say, yeah, too, like, just you get called to it, like a leader gets called. You don't. I mean, at least for me, it wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna sing.
I'm gonna be the lead of the band.
I'm
the front man.
It was literally like you said. It was like, oh, someone has to do this. It's clearly got to be me.
Yeah. You just got that in you. Would you consider yourself the leader of the band, like,
yes,
throughout the whole course?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I wrote most of the songs, like the core ideas, and that was always
the driving
been
force
with all of the members of the band. Has been incredible, just how easy it was to write music with them. I mean, it's obviously that's what you need when you're in a band. It's like, all right, here's my idea. Everyone else is like, I get it. Here we go. Yeah. And that's never ceased to stop, especially with Jeff.
That was awesome.
It was great. It was a great, refreshing thing in Convince the Kid V3, where I was just the like fill-in guitarist, because like it was nice because I could just be like, okay, like whatever needs to be done. Like I don't have to like wear that hat. I don't have to be like.
It's a pretty big hat to wear, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
More
being like a band leader.
Yeah.
Why are you late for practice? Like
Things get on your nerves,
Who's booking? Who's doing who's getting kids to soccer practice on time?
Yeah.
And that's probably the best part about the duos. There's only two of us. There's no,
More money.
Well, that's pretty nice. But it's
nice
like
bonus.
You can't just pawn it off on the one guy out of the five guys that's going to do everything, because it's like there's only one other person. So
there's no weak link, kind of, sort of.
Right.
And
you're the
to be
leader.
equal.
And when there's no reason to ever be like pointing the finger, because it's like there's literally just two of us, so it's like, oh yeah, it's on both of us.
Right. Yeah.
That's nice, man. That's very interesting. Not many duos out there, so it's cool. I'm excited to see how this goes for you guys.
Yeah, no duos in Athens. None,
I don't think there is.
None come to mind.
I saw one, but they were from Village Bills. Wait.
He's joking.
I was about to say, who
Being
you thinking?
sarcastic, man. You got
Common Currents.
What's the other one called? No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, that's it.
Hotel Fiction, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
They literally just dropped
Are they a duo?
our beloved
Yeah,
friends.
of course.
Okay. That's a good point.
They just hire out their band.
Maybe maybe I just don't think of them as a duo. Weird.
No,
Okay.
they're totally a duo.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting. Good point.
Totally.
I like both those bands. Big fans.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like you guys are a duo rock band. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
Like,
think we're the
kinda-
only
what?
duo performer. Well, no, actually, no, not only, but yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Lizzie
definitely
and
not.
them still do too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, this is a good question. What genre are you guys? This is a toughie. Do you guys know? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not a rock band, are you?
Right. No.
You guys wouldn't. I wouldn't say rock band, right? It'd be.
I mean, if you just want to throw it in with alt rock, I mean, you can. That's a catch-all.
Synth
term.
rock.
Synth rock, yeah.
I feel like synth is an important feature, right?
For sure.
Synth rock or synth.
We had no idea what we were doing with when we bought that synth too. It was so funny. We're like, what do we do? And we looked at. We went as a full band to go check out stores and found the microkorg. And it was like, this one seems like it's all right, and we got it. And I basically, if he's listening to it, he can Venmo me for it. I basically stole the synth from him. The drummer bought it, and because he was like the only one with a job at the time, basically. We've used it ever since. Like, I fell in love with the thing, microkorg. It's fantastic.
Seems cool. It looks cool. I've got
a
really great picture of it, actually, that I took when I was in the studio with you guys.
Nice. You got some film.
I got some really great film ones of you guys. I don't know if the people can see these.
Yeah, Trev makes big soundscapes.
For starters, this is a good one.
Oh, gosh. Is that before I...
Scroll through. I believe the Trevor one's in there. Look at your face, bro.
Oh, my gosh.
I believe there's a... Oh, here they are. Never mind. Excuse me.
We should do this. Maybe we should do this.
This is a good one.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you guys.
Wow.
I'm going to go show the camera one.
Nice.
Look at these guys.
The teamwork, making the dream.
Oh, here it is, Trev. This is the one I took. I was like, yeah, that looks wicked.
The microkorg.
And I'll go to the studio and get the files we need tonight.
Cool.
But
if anybody's looking to jump Jeff, he's going to be at 1093.
Right.
It's a bunch of good ones. A little blurry, but pretty good.
But yeah, it was funny because we bought this thing having no idea like what synths were supposed to be used for, like what we were doing. And this is probably like the most user friendly thing ever. And then like I've grown to love it over the past 3 years. Still learn new stuff about it today.
Are you oscillate? Sorry to cut you off, but are you like oscillating stuff? Or are you like presetting? You know what I'm saying?
It's both, right? So like there's presets on the microkorg, but you can control almost everything. There's tons of knobs, all that good stuff, and that's what's so amazing about that is you're not building from scratch, which I don't know how to do, right? So I'm not going to pretend like I know how to do actual synthesis, right? But but yeah.
Thank you.
So I think synth rock is probably accurate.
I like that. I think that's cool.
Because there's going to be synth in every song. There's only two. We can't just have Jeff over there play his whole song,
empty, right?
And you've clearly had it for years because you're very good at building these soundscapes that I'm always surprised as you like manipulate different parameters and stuff. I'm like, whoa. And
it's awesome.
Yeah, it took I would say the whole process of just transitioning into doing more synth and more drum machine stuff took me a while, but like I never really fought it, and now this place where we're at feels really live.
Yeah.
When you say synth and drum machines, like you have a thing in your mind,
and I don't think we're that
exactly,
which is cool. Yeah,
that's
and
that's pretty damn rare. I mean, you guys are on something different.
I hope so.
Pretty damn rare, I think.
Yeah. Either way, we got 2 big shows booked in September.
You having fun?
Yeah,
I'm Great excited. Single.
Yeah.
Trevor, I want you to come play on some of our stuff one of these days.
Yes, got to do some Van Halen.
Because like I've done even just on our records, bro. Because like I've done like the silent on here, you know what I'm saying? But like me playing that, like I'd rather you do it on the mini Korg or mini Moog. What'd you say?
Microkorg.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'd much rather that. Yeah.
It's not even. It's for anyone out there looking for a synth. It's not even that expensive either. It's like it's great.
I'm into the whole synth rock thing too, but what you guys are doing is more like present, I guess. Like you listen to like the Killers or something, and like the synth isn't super present. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just another layer,
right?
But you
it's
guys
half
are
the
the layer, like literally half.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
Which it's funny that Jeff's mentioning taking a long time to get around to it, because like I said, it's like I didn't think I would like being in a synth band.
Really?
Definitely never thought I'd be the person like programming and figuring that out, because I was always like, I don't like fake stuff, and it taught me a lot just to like come around to like, music in general, just like whatever people are gonna do, you gotta appreciate it.
Just
it's like there's
thing.
just so much stuff, and that that was me being young and being like, I like rock music.
We all go through that stage though.
Yeah, and I think of that. In order to have this work, we have to keep making good choices like the ones we're making, which is like we pick cool covers. We pick like songs that are really groove based. So like you don't even have time to think about like what's happening. You're just immediately hooked into what you're hearing.
Bouncing around.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm very curious to see how it goes. What you guys, we probably got about 5 more minutes in. So you guys have any like closing thoughts, like aspirations personally, aspirations individually, aspirations together, that sort of thing?
Well, I mean,
It's a big question.
Since we've talked about Convince the Kid V1, V2, V3, V4, it's just like, just keep chugging.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, like, I know that's like, you know,
No, that's a great
as
answer.
cliche as it may seem, especially, you know, when you're on the creative side of things, it's just like, keep doing it until it feels right, you know?
Yeah.
You know, things are going to change. People in your band are going to change. People are going to move away, get jobs, all that stuff. So it's just like, keep chugging. And if you have an idea and you want to do it, just figure it out.
I think that's perfect sentiment for you guys. I mean, you're on V5, or is this V4?
V4.
V4.
Yeah.
You're on
Hopefully
V4,
the final version.
Just chugging,
right?
man. Just chugging.
Hopefully not the final version is what we're saying. Well, I guess as a duo, yeah, that could
Right.
work. But
Well, I mean,
keep
yeah.
chugging. You just never know.
Right.
Yeah, I would just sort of piggyback and just say excited for today. Excited to have a new single instrumental on the way. Excited to play Smith's Old Bar on the 9th.
Let's go.
40 Watt on the 28th.
Let's go.
Finish this EP. Spread the vibes around Athens. Get people dancing. Get people talking, and then you know, continue to make records and play shows and get the chance to keep living that dream. You know, I mean, it takes so much work to even just get to be at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and
Your whole life, kind of. You know what I mean? Like learning the instrument, mindset.
Yeah, and just
being in the right space.
making choices that just allow the free time and that allow you to, you know, chase these things. And so, yeah, just keep the train
Keep chugging, baby. I like that. What do you guys say we wrap this thing up? That's it, right? I think we covered all the notes we wanted to.
I like your shirt. Was what I was
you
gonna
do?
say.
Van life, baby. I'm a poser. Van poser. I don't have a Yeti or a van. I got a guitar, though.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's the part I liked about it was the guitar.
All right, you guys. Thank you for coming out. This has been a pleasure. This is a great episode. It's always a good episode when it goes an hour. That's always been some good content, I think. I'm excited to get this one out to the world. Give me about a week, you know, something like that. Maybe next Wednesday. Yeah, thank you everybody for listening in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast, Jameson_OTR. Check these guys out. What's your name on Instagram? Convince the Kid? Is it
Yeah, just Convince the Kid with some underscores thrown in.
Word.
Yeah.
I'll tag it. I'm tagging the link or whatever.
Sounds good.
Yeah, go give these guys check them out. Check out the new single, Let Me Down Slow. Is that correct, or is it Slowly?
Slow.
Slow. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Thought so. Go check that guy out. It's an absolute banger.
Jeff's not sure.
And Jeff's not sure. We'll see you next time. Give him the wave for the thumbnail. We see some hands. Yeah. Peace.
What a beautiful world.